Hey everybody, thank you so much for jumping in today. My name is Danny Coldblood, aka Music Vidiot, doing a GTA5 video on something I've been stressing seriously since the day I started making Chiliad mystery videos. So let's get right into it. Okay, I'm just gonna let you guys see this for a second. Maybe I'll let it sink in before I actually talk about it. Just look at what's going on right here in the game. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to tell you what's going on. I just kind of want you to see for a second. Okay, what this is I had gotten two characters together, and I decided not to even show that clip because it's better with all three. So let's say that this top of this roof right here that I'm landing on, let's say this is a trigger point. Let's say it's a platform that we, with all our research and you know, everything that we've investigated and came up with, and all of our strongly educated guesses, we found that that was a trigger point. And let's say right over here is another trigger point on top of this building. Okay, let's land on this building. Okay, there's trigger point number 2. We got two characters on two trigger points. Now, let's get Trevor over. Trevor's gonna go over to the trigger point that we made strong, hard, educated guesses on. All of our clues, all of our research led us to these 3 trigger points. So here we are landing on them. Now these aren't really for real trigger points at all. This is an example. This is just an example to show you guys, and I'll get to my conclusion in a little while. So don't worry. The conclusion is at the end where it should be. You see how there is 3 helicopters now, and they're not going anywhere. I wanted to show you guys first in helicopters so I don't have to make a follow-up video showing that, it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter if they're in vehicles or not. Okay, if you guys really need me to prove it in cars, I'll show you the cars. But it doesn't matter if they're on foot, in a car, in a helicopter. Pretty much, people have found what they thought were trigger points. Some were in the air, some were on the ground. But we've never actually been able to trigger anything. But this is me showing you guys that it is possible to place the 3 characters where you want them, and they will not run off. Okay, everyone thinks that the characters, whenever I try to prove my point and tell people this, everyone thinks that the characters are going to run away on you. They're not going to do that. There is a certain, radius that you can keep them in, and they will stay where the fuck you put them. They will not move. Okay, and I'm going to show you literally about 8 minutes of me doing this just to prove that they're not going anywhere. Okay, now I'm sure if I took Michael or Trevor or Franklin to the other side of the Alamo Sea, one of them might start doing something and running away. But I really feel that the Chiliad mystery or the GTA5 mystery, whatever, I believe that the GTA5 mystery might be a lot more simple to solve than we're making it. Okay? There's no reason it should take 1.5 years. Yes, I know there's a lot of clues and there's a lot of things, and people are researching and finding a lot of evidence, for connections. But I do believe it could be as simple as putting Michael in A, Trevor at B, and Franklin at C. That's really what I think. So I'm gonna show, right now I'm putting Franklin on the roof. I'm putting all the characters on different roofs right now, just to show you that they're gonna stay. So no matter what the trigger point you think it is, the game will allow us to test it out, because the characters, they're not going anywhere. They're staying exactly where you put them. And seriously, if you go back to my first Chiliad mystery video, if you scroll back some videos and you see that first one, you'll see what I was talking about when I really didn't know much at all. I was just getting into the mystery, and my first instinct, my gut feeling, even as a beginner when I made that video, told me that each character has to be placed at a certain spot. And why should I let my gut instinct? That's one thing my mother told me when I was a kid. Always follow your gut. So why did I let that gut instinct feeling wither away? Because I got caught up in the conspiracy. That's why. I got caught up in all this bullshit. And I'm not trying to say it is bullshit, but in a way it is. Because you can go on Reddit, you can go on other people's YouTubes, and you can find a bunch of craziness. I mean, seriously, craziness. I can't pick out anyone's name in particular because I don't pay attention to those people. When I come across those people, I forget their names. So I don't have anyone's names in particular in my head. But you'll see, if you look enough into this mystery, you'll find the crazies. And there's so many conspiracies out there, and people have blown this up to something way bigger than it should be. I think, Rockstar told us there are so many Easter eggs in this game. Some are obvious, and most of them are obscured. Okay? That means they're very well hidden. So when we find an Easter egg or a reference to something, we're for some reason putting it as a evident fact to the significance to the Chiliad mystery when it should never be. It should just be taken for what it is, an Easter egg relevant to that situation that the Easter egg is made for. You know what I mean? Say we find a big bird. Okay, we're not gonna say, "Oh, that's a Sesame Street reference." We're gonna find a fucking way to make that big bird relevant to the Chiliad mystery. Why we do that, I don't know. We've made this thing bigger than it ever needed to be. Now, I'm not saying this mystery isn't big. It is. I have a couple videos coming up in the next few days, which I cannot wait to show you guys. I think there is a big surprise for us. I do believe there is a conclusion, but I don't think it's as big as we've made it, or at least that it has been made by other people. Okay, guys? This video right here is just showing you guys that you could take all three characters and you can place them in specific spots and they will not move. Which really tells me one thing. Maybe we're supposed to take these three characters and maybe we're supposed to place them in certain spots. And maybe at 100% completion, maybe whatever. Maybe it will trigger something. Maybe we have to have the right type of game file. I've spoke about karma. Maybe we have to have a certain kind of karma. Whether it's different between all three characters or the same for all. Whatever. Maybe we have to have 100% game completion and a certain level of karma. I don't have those answers for you. I can't give you guys 100% fact in a direction to go in, guys, because I don't have the mystery solved. Okay, so I don't have those answers. All I can do is give you my educated guesses and my research and my thoughts, okay? And I could give you what I believe matters and put that in a relevant perspective for you guys. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm trying to be as honest as I can and give you as much, proof as I can backed up by in-game evidence. So take it as you want, but this is what this video is about. Hopefully it was informative, but let me show you something here. This is going back to my first video. It's not the same game clip for my first video. It's a new game clip, but what I want to show you guys is I talked about how this might be a platform right there. And then I ran around over here and I showed how this could be the second platform. I was talking about maybe at 100% these might have some significance. Okay, we are at the observatory. If you run over here, I called this in my first video, I called this the egg. I said maybe we're not looking for an actual egg, maybe this is the egg. Now, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know. But I do know this. I knew that there is 3 boxes like this that when I first seen them, they looked like platforms to me. And we have the observatory door. Now, the observatory door at night lights up. In a couple seconds, you'll actually see those lights pop on. But only half of the door's lights light up. Why don't the other half light up? And that question has always bothered me, and I've always wondered, maybe if I was 100%, maybe if I had a certain level of karma, the right way or the wrong way, the way the game wanted me to have it, you know, maybe I would be able to trigger those other two lights or whatever, and maybe that door would open. A lot of clues and references lead to the observatory being an answer, but that's talking about for a jetpack, at least. You know, the Rocketeer movie, the conclusion of that movie kind of ended at this area, at the observatory in real life. We have the observatory and this tunnel over here with Back to the Future. There's a lot of references to the observatory in real life movies that definitely pertain to this game, that would lead someone to believe that yes, there's an answer here. I want to point out this little electrical junction box thing. Keep this in mind, guys. I want to show this to you for a reason. I'll be talking about this in an upcoming video, so remember that I'm pointing this little electrical junction box thing out. And I'm not too good at doing this with the helicopter, but if you look in the distance, there's Mount Chiliad, and all of us know what the Mount Chiliad mural looks like. If you don't, skip back to the beginning of this video. It's right in the beginning of my video. I opened up all my GTA 5 mystery videos with the GTA 5 mural. If you look, you can almost draw a straight line to the Mount Chiliad mural from the observatory. It's not a straight line on the map, but you can obviously make a straight line to it, and it lines up with this monument. And the one thing that I never mentioned it, although I have noticed it, but the more I go on Reddit and the more I watch other people's videos, it's been mentioned multiple times. So I figure I'll throw it out there because I have noticed it for myself. So if you use the top of that monument, and if you're a good enough pilot with the helicopter, you can actually line up that top, that circled top. I know it's in real life it's meant for some sort of weather thing. It's some sort of a weather analyzer or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But you can line it up on the top of that mountain, on Mount Chiliad, and you can actually make it look like the eye. It actually looks like the eye on top of Mount Chiliad, and Mount Chiliad being the actual picture of the mural itself. So you can actually kind of recreate the mural in real time here in the game with this monument, the top of the monument, and the background of Mount Chiliad, and the whole mural actually matches up to this. So I wanted to point that out, you know, just to make up my point a little bit more valid on the observatory meaning something. I'm not saying the answer's there. I'm not even saying there's a jetpack. Okay, you're going to see in an upcoming video, guys. I've done a lot of homework and a lot of investigating lately, and I found that there might be more of a natural disaster, more, you know, it might be more, God, it might be more, whatchamacallit, it's probably going to be a natural disaster, in my eyes, over it being a jetpack. Okay, sorry for the loss of words, but that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. From what I've found, I believe that we are going to see a natural disaster over having a jetpack. I'm not saying there's not a jetpack, but you'll just have to watch my next videos. I got a couple good videos coming out for you guys. Hopefully you guys will like them. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love you all. You're sexy. I want your children, but I don't want to support them. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. I love you. And as always, guys, take care and peace.